Today, almost all of us live in a house divided.
Get that stuff out of here! It's Southwest Bias!
Welcome into a Territorial Cup edition of Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious injury, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first. It's 602-783-8841 or visit their website linked in our show notes and tell them PHNX sent you. And we are live from Studio K. Got the point right. Brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Become a member of the Inner Circle today. I have been married to a Sun Devil for a long time now. I'm just going to say it that way. I don't want to make us both look old. All right, it's 16 years. And we have certainly had our ups and downs, primarily when it comes to our ASU and U of A backgrounds. I graduated from U of A. She graduated from ASU. She doesn't really care about sports all that much. I mean, a little bit because it's what my job is, but not a huge sports fan. But once a year, every year, she becomes a diehard Sun Devil, where this week is Hell Week. This week is where I get reminded of where my degree's from and how she doesn't think that it is as good as the one that she has. We actually went to a Territorial Cup game while we were dating, and that was the last time we went to one because it was not good for anybody. So we do not go together to that game anymore because of our in-house rivalry. And that's part of what makes this so magical. The fact that two people that love each other can basically have that switch flipped and despise each other after that for a whole week just because of the universities that they went to. This is one of the best rivalry games in college football that nobody talks about. You hear about all these others, the Red River rivalry. There's so many of them that you hear about. Ohio State, Michigan. You hear about all these. And the duel in the desert kind of gets pushed to the side. But it's been going 126 years. This rivalry is one of, if not the oldest in college football. It predates Arizona being a state by 13 years. That's why it's called the Territorial Cup, because these two schools started playing each other before it was a state. It's crazy to think that this is not viewed as one of the best in the country and isn't given like prime real estate when it's played either on television. The trophy itself, the cup, has been certified as the oldest in college football for a rivalry. In fact, it started that first year in 1899 and then was given out through the early 1900s, but was lost. This trophy was lost from then until the 1980s, when it was found in a church basement near ASU. And to me, that makes this even more interesting of a rivalry, because there's a story even about the trophy that's given out. The cup that was lost for 80 years almost, found again. And then in 2000, Arizona went, hey, can we trade off? They kind of had it in display at ASU as kind of an artifact. And they said, hey, can we trade off? And starting in 2001 and since then, whoever wins the trophy takes the trophy. It's pretty damn cool, but that's not it. that's not the only thing that makes this rivalry so great. The fact that it's a 51-45-1 in favor of Arizona, which means it's damn close, and some of the weirdest things you see in football will happen in this rivalry. It's not just that, though. Did you know that without the duel in the desert, there'd be no Fiesta Bowl and no college football playoff here in the great state of Arizona out there in Glendale? Because in 1968, the Arizona State game was going to determine who went to the Sun Bowl. And Arizona's coach then gave an ultimatum to the Sun Bowl. Name us as who's going to that bowl before this game, or you won't get us if we win this game. The Sun Bowl acquiesced. Arizona proceeded to get their asses kicked 30-7 in what became known as the Ultimatum Bowl. And after that, ASU was so pissed off that they founded the Fiesta Bowl right then and there. Oh, and by the way, U of A went on to get their asses kicked in the bowl game too, 34-10 against Auburn. This rivalry even created major bowl games that went on to have huge impact in college football overall. Then you add in the College Football Hall of Famers, the NFL Hall of Famers, all these guys that have played in this rivalry as well. All of us that have lived through it as fans, you cannot sit there and tell me that this is not one of the greatest rivalries in all of college sports. It's so much so that both universities thought, you know what? We need to turn it into an entire series, not just the football game, but every ASU U of A sporting event needs to be part of a Territorial Cup series where points and standings happen. The dislike between Tucson and Tempe is real. The way that both cities view the other is with disdain. There is no pity for the kitty. And down in Tucson, there's no love for the Devils, all right? This is the quintessential definition of a rivalry. So much so that it was born when basically it was a desolate desert and a territory, not even viewed by this country as good enough to be a state yet. And yet football reigned supreme between these two campuses. Hell, ASU was known as Tempe Normal back then, and they were the Normals. That's how long ago this was. Then they became the Arizona State Bulldogs before they became the Sun Devils. The universities had 3 names in the time this rivalry's been going on. This should be recognized throughout the country as one of the best. And I guarantee today's edition of it is going to go down as one of the best because of the way both of these teams have been playing and the fact that both of these teams have something to play for. Each are going to a bowl. ASU has a slim shot at becoming a Big 12 champion again. U of A has the chance to play spoiler and have the opportunity to become, I believe it's only the 4th team with a chance to win 10 games in university history. Today's game matters. Today's rivalry matters. And this rivalry should matter a hell of a lot more around the country. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the mustache behind the Mac, Shane Diefenbach. Shane, how are you, my friend?
Hello. Happy Teacup Day.
How do you feel about the rivalry?
It's the best. I hate it, and I hate everything.
What was your experience in school with it? What was your moment that
I saw red?
You don't remember any?
Oh my God.
It's red?
It's funny because I'm a lot more reserved when it comes to sports. Obviously I'm a huge fan of all of my teams in my school, but I try to be rational. I try to there's a lot of people I know, some people in this office, who cannot get past somebody going to a different school than them, and they just hate regardless. I try to at least have some sense of camaraderie that we're rooting for the same sport. But man, I didn't expect to hate as much as I did when I was in college.
Oh, It's crazy to me. I mean, before I even went to U of A, we had a neighbor that was a big ASU fan, and I was a U of A football fan. We've talked about it on the program. I had poor decision making, ASU basketball, U of A football. And we went and we decked this guy's house out in all U of A stuff in the middle of the night before the ASU U of A game, just because we knew how much this rivalry meant, and I knew how much it was going to piss the guy off. It did, and it was damn hilarious. This rivalry is intense.
Yeah, it's a real thing, but it doesn't. What I love the most, and also sometimes hate the most, is it doesn't just start and stop on and off the field, court, pitch, whatever. It's about the cities.
Yes.
The people that live in Tucson hate the Valley. Even the people who went to Arizona who live in the Valley hate the Valley. You can work in downtown Phoenix, but because you went to the U of A, you hate it here. But you'll raise a family here and you'll still talk shit about it. That's what this is about. We know everyone. We know everybody in Tempe hates Tucson. It's not just a school thing. It's a city thing. And that's one of the best and also one of the worst parts about it, because there's gems in both places.
I'm going to ask you this. Has it impacted your relationship ever?
No,
it impacted mine?
Because Leah can see when something is great and appreciate the greatness in it.
Like your mustache?
Like my mustache and like Kenny Dillingham. Also, I left this up on purpose, by the way.
The pennant? All right. That is Shane Diefenbach, ASU alum. I'm glad that you don't hold a grudge about where I went to college as well. We've got an even more famous ASU alum that's going to be joining the program.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's not more famous than me.
He is.
Crap, you're right.
Is. It is Rudy Carpenter who's going to join us on the other side of the break to give a firsthand account of what it's like to play in this rivalry. And I think he probably will dish a little bit on some things you may never have heard before right after this. Got to tell you about our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, because nobody does it better than them. You can visit one of their 4 valley locations, Wild Horse Pass, Lone Butte, Vequiva, or Santan Mountain. They are all going to treat you with the utmost respect. You're going to enjoy your time there. And the best part, there's over 4,500 slots and live table games, plus the best sports book in all of the desert. And yeah, I'm including that city to the north that likes to refer to themselves as Sin City. There is nothing like Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So go big and go home a winner. From upscale to approachable, casual to classy, from bar to bar none. They have the best selection of dining options. I'm in love with it. You know I love food, and there's no place better than to get a meal and see a show and go to a sports book. So you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com for more details. The husband and wife law team. If you've been in a serious accident or suffered an injury, the lawyer you choose matters, because you could pick some fly-by-night lawyer and they're not going to take care of what's most important to you, getting justice for what happened, getting a settlement that is good for you. And Mark and Alexis Breyer, they take that seriously, because you want to hire an attorney that's focused on your best outcome and not how much money the firm makes. And that's what the husband and wife law team do. And they have certified specialists. Less than 1% of lawyers are actually certified in wrongful death and serious injury. And the lawyers at the husband and wife team, they have them there. They have those specialists to take care of what you're going through. So if you've had a serious injury, call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841, or visit their website at the link in our show notes and tell them Espo and PHNX sent you. And I got a chance to talk with Rudy Carpenter a little earlier today, and excited for you to hear this. Really excited to welcome in former ASU quarterback Rudy Carpenter. Rudy, thanks for taking a few minutes with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. To be honest with you, I'm at Fat Cats right now doing daddy duty while my kids are watching the new movie Wicked.
I, I love it. Well, I heard it's good, so we'll get you back in there real quick. Wanted to talk about your experience in the Territorial Cup. What is it like to take part in that game, and how special is the Territorial Cup?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting game. Obviously, it's one of the oldest rivalries in college football, and I think there's something to be said for that. There's been a lot of these games that have been played. There's a lot of great players, a lot of big names, NFL Hall of Famers, NFL greats, college greats, just a lot of different people. I think it's an interesting dynamic because on both rosters you have a lot of Arizona kids, and those Arizona kids grow up understanding the Territorial Cup. They grow up, a lot of these kids grow up in homes that are divided, right? A mom who went to Arizona, a dad who went to ASU, and it's divided. Or if it's not divided, it's a hardcore ASU family or a hardcore Arizona family. And it's been like that for years and or generations. So those people understand the game. But you also have on both teams a lot of Southern California kids, even some Northern California kids. And so for us that come from California, we have been a good example for me. When I played on Arizona, they had a corner named Antoine Cason who ended up being a first round pick, I believe, for the Chargers. But I had been playing against Antoine Cason since we were little kids. So I have grown up with Anton Cason. I had played him as youth football, middle school football, high school football, and have played against him a ton. And then we were teammates in the Shrine game, which is an all-star game out there in California. So even though us coming into that game, big rivalry game, non-Arizona people, we had our own personal rivalry from playing against each other for so many years. So there's just a lot of history and a lot of different dynamics in the Territorial Cup. And the last thing I would say on that is the moment you get to either ASU or U of A, it's very, very apparent when you meet fans that you winning that game is extremely important.
You were no stranger to winning that game. You were 3-1 in your time against Arizona. What's your favorite memory from playing in the Territorial Cup?
Yeah, it's really hard. I'm rare in the sense that I got a chance to start 4 times against Arizona, and I think that's just rare, right? Most people, especially in today's day and age, are not going to get a chance to do that. I really, really, really wanted to go 4-0 against, Arizona. I thought that would have been a great legacy thing for me. It didn't happen, but it's to pick out one moment is hard. My very first start against U of A, I had played so good my freshman year in every game I had played before then. And then when we got to the Arizona game, I was really, really sick that whole week and that whole game. And I had really bad strep throat. And so that game was tough for me because I just was sick, not playing well. So winning that game the way we did at the buzzer on a Jesse Ainsworth field goal was awesome. I got a great taste of it the next year. Um, Dirk Cutter, we had a lot of drama happen that year preseason. Dirk Cutter ended up getting fired, but I ended up throwing 3 touchdown passes in the first quarter, which was awesome, fun. It kind of shut them down right away on their home turf. The next year, my junior year, was an incredible year for us. We had won 10 games. If we beat U of A, we had a chance to win or at least share the Pac-10 championship. And there was some incredible plays in that game. Tyrese Thompson had a incredible catch down the seam. Then he had another touchdown catch when I underhand, flipped it from like the 4-yard line to the back of the end zone. Chris McGay had the slant and go double move where he pulled the ball basically off the back of his head. And then I think my teammates talk about, we were playing that game, U of A, my junior year, 2007. It was either a third or a fourth down. We were just past midfield. I think we were up by a field goal with a couple minutes to go in the game. And the play call came in as a run play. And I just remember asking Mike Jones, our wide receiver, if he could win on a slant and go. And he said, obviously, yeah. And so I told the coaches that I saw the wrong play call, and I called a pass play, and it hit for like a 45-yard touchdown, and ultimately was the game winner.
What is it like to go out on the field at Sun Devil Stadium when you first get out there in a Territorial Cup? Obviously, games there this week. I'm sure that experience is something otherworldly.
Yeah, I think it depends, who you are. For me, I was just such a humongous football fan, and I would say a football historian. Um, Growing up, I knew everything about every professional football player and what school they went to and every stat they had and just everything about it. And then same with college football. I mean, there was nothing better than waking up on a Saturday and just watching college football all day. And when I got a chance to play with some of those announcers that I grew up listening to, whether it was, Vern Lundquist or Keith Jackson or Jack Arute or Brett Nussmeier, like it was always like so crazy to me that like I was now the guy playing, with those guys announcing the games, right? So every time we had a home game and I came running onto the field, the first possession, and Tim Healy would announce, or I'm sorry, the PA announcer would announce me as the starting quarterback. I'd always just like kind of laugh or smile to myself when I was jogging on the field. Man, I can't believe this is really me. Um, and then when you get to that Arizona game, it's like, yeah, it's just all magnified, everything is magnified. To me, the Arizona game was always one that I just felt like for anybody that plays at ASU or U of A, it's the opportunity every year where you have a chance to like go from a nobody to a somebody overnight if you just make one play, at least in the state of Arizona, for the rest of your life, right? Um, as an example, every single year ASU plays U of A, no offense to you, but I get like 75 interview requests. And I tell my wife, I'm like, oh man, I always forget it's the U of A week because my phone is blowing up with interview requests. But I think that just kind of proves the point that, um, like the game is very important to a lot of Arizona people. And if you were able to have a part in some of those games, wins or losses, you'll be remembered, I guess.
Final question. Any predictions for this year's game?
So hard. It's always so hard in a rivalry game because so many things can happen. Emotions are always going berserk, and things can happen before the game or at halftime or whatever, and guys can get kicked out or penalties, and that can impact the game tremendously, right? Um, and then because of all those emotions, same things, guys have mental errors or make or miss plays that they typically would make or miss because of those emotions. So you just never know. And then even this year, it's way harder because Arizona State is like a top 20 ranked team, yet nobody knows like who they are and what their identity is. It's just like they play average and then win at the end of the game. They play average, they play bad, they play average, and then at the end of the game they win. And so it's like, who are they? And like, what's their identity? And how do they win games? And now their starting quarterback is out, and Jordan Tyson's been in and out. And it's like, I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. Of
I think
course, I
that's
hope the Devils win.
I think that's the best way to sum up any Territorial Cup. Rudy, thank you so much for your time. We'll let you go back to your most important job, being a dad. I really appreciate you talking with us.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We all silly like the mayor.